The last part of the syllabus is a strategy for success, and you should look at the last part of the syllabus in its entirety, but it's based on a strategy of metacognition. And metacognition is thinking about your own learning. It's a very deliberate process, and I think being deliberate is important. If you think you'll be most successful by just showing up and letting organic chemistry wash over you, that probably is not going to lead to your best success. And so the first part of this process is to adopt a growth mindset. We need to believe and know that everyone can do organic chemistry. Everyone in this class can learn organic chemistry. That doesn't mean everybody's starting in the same place or everybody has the same facility with acid-base chemistry to start. It doesn't mean that we'll all end up in the same place, but it means that everybody can make progress. Everyone will also struggle in this class. Struggling is part of the learning process. So when you're struggling, don't let that get you too down. Realize that that's part of the process, and realize also that everyone else in the class will also encounter many struggles going through the course of the semester. Ask yourself rather, am I better this week than I was last week? And I'm very confident that your answer to that question is going to be yes, and that is your proof that you are able to learn organic chemistry. One of the tools that we'll use is Bloom's taxonomy. In Bloom's taxonomy, we're going to think about where we are in our facility with the concepts. So think about where we want to be. We want to be up near the top in Bloom's taxonomy. We need to have a base of this pyramid also, but we want to be able to solve unique problems that nobody's ever asked us before. And so as you move through the material, think about whether or not you would work harder to take an exam on molecular orbital theory, or if you would work harder to teach the class molecular orbital theory. And so that's an aspirational goal, is to think about whether or not you would be able to teach the class the concepts that we're encountering in this class. So use the resources that I've laid out for you so that you can understand Bloom's taxonomy a little bit better. We also then need a plan, and the study cycle is a plan. So one part of the study cycle is to prepare, and I guess that's 6 and 1 together here in my version of the study cycle. So I'm not going to do things exactly the same way as the textbook, and that's to your benefit. So I want you to be able to predict on the basis of the syllabus and what we did yesterday and what you've done already in class. I want you to predict what the next class will be about. And if you can do that, well then you'll know where to go in the textbook to try to preview what's coming up in class. Then you're going to go to class and you're going to take notes and you're going to ask and answer questions either out loud or in writing. Ask and answer your questions. Soon after class, don't let things go too long before you reinforce the concepts that you've encountered. Soon after class, go through your notes. Fill in some gaps with what maybe you can remember that you did or thought. Ask some new questions. Make a plan for what you're going to do later when you study intently. And then study intently. You're going to maybe do the reading and look for answers to the questions that you are asking yourself and do the exercises. After you've studied intently, then you are going to maybe assess where you are using Bloom's taxonomy. And if you think that you're missing something, well then make a plan to pick up what it is that you're missing and then execute that plan. So if we do this, where can things go wrong? Well, there are two main parts of the process that can go wrong. First, in organic chemistry, we use the tools of general chemistry, and we use them right away, and we have to use them with some facility. And so if I can illustrate for you an example, let's say that in an emergency, I ask you to call my wife on my phone. And so you would have to go through my phone. You don't know my wife's name. You probably can figure it out, but that's the point. You would have to figure it out. So Lewis structures maybe are like that. You don't want to have to figure out Lewis structures. You want to understand everything about Lewis structures so that if I asked you to write a Lewis structure for methane, you wouldn't have to think about that. That's a picture of something that you have in your head every day. So you need to have that sort of facility with some of the tools of general chemistry to make your best progress. I've given you some resources for trying to get yourself up to speed to be able to do organic chemistry at your best for this class. And so use those resources. The next thing that can happen is that you might fall behind. Now the study cycle is designed to keep you from falling behind. But everybody gets behind by a day every once in a while. But if you get behind by a week, that's difficult to overcome. You can do it. You can work hard and improve from one day to the next. You can succeed if you get behind. But that's one of the difficulties. So I'm not trying to paint a picture that this study cycle or this process will make organic chemistry easy. Organic chemistry is not an easy subject. It is something new. After you become an organic chemist, it might seem easy, but for everyone at the beginning, it's new. It's very different from general chemistry. We have to use general chemistry. It's not just more of the same. And so it's a big change, and you can make that change if you look at it the right way. So come and get my help. Get help at the Q Center, do what you need to do, but use a process, and you're going to do just fine in organic chemistry.